Why do we place so much emphasis on compromise? And why do we so often settle for a mediocre outcome when our potential is so much greater? We've been taught to think that compromise is essential for successful relationships, careers, and even in our businesses. What if the secret to a fulfilled life is actually placing greater emphasis on not compromising? What if we were able to achieve success without sacrifice? If you want to be inspired, filled with courage, and driven towards action in your business, personal growth, and spirituality, then this is the place for you. Let's take this ride together and be uncompromised.
I won't compromise or settle. I'm the one behind the wheel of my life. I won't put on the gas pedal, and I push it down to the metal till I'm on a whole new level. For personal growth, marketing, branding, and spirituality will help you turn your dreams to reality. Whatever goals you got in mind will help you reach them uncompromised. Cause we are the Uncompromised Podcast with your host, Adam Wells. So let's start the show.
Welcome to the first episode, the maiden voyage of the Uncompromised Podcast. In this first episode, I want to set the stage for what you guys can expect from the show. But before I do that, I have to recognize and give a big shout out to the listeners of my last podcast, the Uncompromised Path Podcast, who have followed me here today. Many of you have influenced and inspired me along the way to create this new show, and I am forever grateful for you. If you are a cop entrepreneur, a current or former law enforcement officer who is on the journey of starting, growing, or scaling your own post-law enforcement business, and you've never listened to the Uncompromised Path podcast, I want to encourage you to do so. There's like 113, I think maybe 112 episodes of pure gold there for you guys to dig through and get lots of nuggets to help you start and grow your own business. All right, so now on with the show. First, what is this podcast all about and who is it for? Well, if you're an entrepreneur, male or female, it doesn't matter to me, who feels like you're not getting what you need out of your business, this podcast is for you. Maybe your marketing plan hasn't been working, or maybe your profit margins are suffering. Maybe you don't feel fulfilled and energized by your business any longer. This podcast is for you. If you're someone who finds it important to keep your business in balance with your personal life, your family, the things that you love to do, the things that energize you and keep you inspired, or maybe you've lost that balance already and you're trying to figure out how to recapture it, this podcast is for you. And most importantly, if your faith in God is of paramount importance to you and you're unwilling to sacrifice any part of that in the process of being successful, you guessed it, this podcast is for you too. I've spent the last 4 plus years, struggling through all of these things myself. At the end of 2018, I left a 15-year career in law enforcement, a career that I loved dearly. And I left that to embark on this journey of entrepreneurship. I've had a ton of successes and failures along the way. I've put in long hours and far too many late nights. I've dedicated myself to learning all that I can about what it takes to be successful in each and every one of these areas. Unfortunately, if I'm being honest with you guys, in the process, I began to fall short of being in balance. I felt completely out of balance. It felt like at every angle, I was being asked to make compromise some of my profitability here, then compromise some time with my kids there, then turn a blind eye to the things that were not in alignment with my values and my faith here, until finally I just got tired. I got tired of compromise, and it dawned on me one day that compromise itself was the problem and that I did not have a clear understanding of what compromise really is. The Uncompromised Podcast seeks to document this journey, to get real and be honest with you, the listener, about what my struggles have looked like, the wins that I've had, and the lessons that I have learned along the way. The mission of this podcast is to help you break free from mediocrity, to speak truth into your life that will hopefully give you a roadmap to success in all areas: business, relationships, faith, and personal fulfillment. Not because I've got it all figured it out, but because I'm figuring it out too. We'll explore why compromise in certain areas of life can limit our potential and the dangers of settling for mediocre outcomes instead of striving for excellence. We'll take a look at how compromise affects different aspects of life, such as relationships, our career, our health, and our faith, and more, by hearing from people who have experienced it themselves and are living it out as their own uncompromised lives today. We'll talk about business and marketing strategies to help you get uncompromised results from your business. You'll hear from experts in various areas of business and marketing that will give you their secrets to success. I'll share with you some stories of my faith and Bible scriptures along the way to help you keep you and I both in alignment as we pursue each week. Listen, I'm not going to sugarcoat anything here. Okay. If you're looking for a place to be told what you want to hear, encouragement to keep doing what you're already doing that's probably not working for you, this isn't going to be it. But if you want to level up with me, then hop in, buckle up, and let's get after it together. Listen, I don't purport to be an expert at anything. I don't have a degree in psychology. I'm not a life coach or anything else like that. Here's what I do claim to be. I'm a disciple of Christ, a husband and a father to 4 beautiful children, with another one soon to be on the way. I'm the owner of an Inc. 5000 marketing agency and a fractional CMO to public safety brands. Outside of that, I'm just someone figuring all of this out right alongside you guys. Today, I want to explore how compromise leads to mediocrity. How, if you allow yourself to compromise in the wrong areas of life, it can lead to an unfulfilling existence and ultimately prevent you from achieving anything near your full potential. Are you ready? Okay, let's do this. So here is the definition, or I should say, here's a few of the definitions right out of Merriam-Webster's for the word compromise. Number 1, a settlement of differences by mutual concessions, an agreement reached by adjustment of conflicting or opposing claims, principles, etc., by reciprocal modification of demands. Number 2, the result of such a settlement. Number 3, something intermediate between different things. The split level is a compromise between a ranch house and a multi-storied house, right? And then number 4, an endangering, especially of reputation, exposure to danger, suspicion, etc., a compromise of one's integrity. Listen, guys, life it's full of black and white decisions. Generally speaking, a thing is either good for a person, a team, or a company, or it's bad. So if you are sure that your opinion on an issue is correct, then why should you settle for anything less? When settling with a decision means compromising one's integrity, it can only mean one thing. You have just allowed yourself to agree upon something which does not benefit everyone involved in the situation wholly and completely. The only thing you have now compromised on is your integrity. And now definition 4 applies. Again, definition 4, an endangering, especially of reputation, exposure to danger or suspicion, a compromise of one's integrity. There really are few gray areas in life. A thing has either a right conclusion or a wrong conclusion, like I said. You see, too many people confuse compromise with the creation of a superior solution, which it is not. The creation of a superior solution leverages the input of everyone on your team to make something better. But compromise, on the other hand, is just accommodating the interests of all people involved. The former creates value, the latter breeds mediocrity. Mediocrity then breeds resentment and dissent because no one walks away happy from a compromise. Nobody leaves a compromise feeling like they got what they actually wanted. And the resulting outcome isn't the best it could be, so you're just limited in what you can actually achieve together. So how do we break free from mediocrity? How do we live a life where we're uncompromising in our choices? Well, first, we have to recognize that creating a superior solution is always the preferred course of action. When done right, it can lead to better outcomes than either party could have achieved alone. Second, don't let fear of failure or taking risks stop you. And don't let yourself be too quickly swayed by other people's opinions. And finally, remember that it's okay to disagree and that it doesn't always have to end in a compromise to be successful. Just because two parties come from different backgrounds or have different points of view doesn't mean they can't work together towards a common goal. Compromise should always be your last resort when there's just no other option left on the table. Strive for excellence, not mediocrity, and don't limit yourself with compromise. Okay. Let me get off my soapbox here for a minute. You guys have heard how I feel about compromise and what my stance is on it, how I define compromise. Compromise is not the same as achieving a superior outcome. Compromise breeds mediocrity. It can be defined. Compromise equals mediocrity. So here's the basis of the podcast as we move forward. And I want to close out by telling you what my commitment to you is each and every week on this podcast. So each and every week on this show, I want this to be a source of inspiration to you. I want every episode to fill you with courage, and I want it to move you towards action in some area of your business, your life, or your faith. Okay? This reason alone is why this is going to be a weekly podcast. I want you to be able to anticipate every week a new episode. Every Monday morning, first thing in the morning, there is going to be a brand new episode awaiting for you to check out. First thing in the morning. So that way you can start off your week with a dose of unfiltered, uncompromised insight into marketing, branding your business, personal growth, spirituality, faith. And each week you're going to get either a high energy solo episode from me like you got today, or an inspiring interview with top marketers, business leaders, and influencers who are achieving success without sacrifice in their life. The episodes are going to be short, around 15 to 20 minutes each, so you can digest them quickly on your way to the office, the gym, or whatever it is you go, or maybe it's while you're mowing the lawn, or who knows what. But I want these to be short, quick episodes to give you that dose of inspiration, motivation, and driving you towards action, filling you with courage. Okay, so with that, let's call an end to episode number 1 of the Uncompromised Podcast. Thanks for being on this journey with me. And until next time, be uncompromised.